enterprise security, security consulting, starting out doing code review, realizing that code review was incredibly boring. Not just the work was incredibly boring, but what we were actually doing was not very useful, and decided to kind of start moving up the stack and started working on threat modeling, and have been doing that pretty much since. About 4 years ago, I started looking at people who have real problems. Because it turns out that if you work for a large company, you don't actually have real problems. The worst thing that's going to happen if you get owned is somebody loses a little bit of money, and it's kind of annoying and possibly an insurer has to pay somebody. But when you end up in a position where you're suddenly talking to people where if somebody gets owned, then maybe their child gets killed in front of them, you suddenly have a very, very different understanding of what a vulnerability means and what security means and what success means. And that was really kind of a terrifying moment for me, but also a really useful moment. A really useful moment, and that it really completely changed the way I think about the work that we do. There we go. All right, that's better. So, what I learned in that moment is that we don't actually know how to keep people safe, that we are very, very bad at this. So, I think many of you have probably seen this cartoon before. You know, oh no, strong encryption, what would we do? Well, we'll go and hit somebody with a wrench and tell us the password. And this is our fundamental problem. We made the mistake of thinking that security was about computers, right? So people built computers to get things done, and they built more computers and they networked them because they needed to get more things done. And then those computers started getting compromised, and they paid us to fix the problem. Now, the problem was not that the computers were getting compromised, the problem was that they couldn't get stuff done. We made this fundamental mistake of thinking that when they said fix this, they meant fix the computer. Having made this mistake, we built an entire industry around fixing the wrong problem. And they built more computers, and they still got compromised, and we realized we couldn't secure them individually, so now we're looking at how to fix patterns and looking at large-scale data analytics on the wrong problem. Security is the set of activities that reduce the likelihood of a set of adversaries successfully frustrating the goals of a set of users. Computer does not appear in this sentence anywhere. So, for instance, if you have two users who want to schedule a meeting, and they don't want their adversary to know when and where the meeting is going to be scheduled, they may choose to use a secure communications tool, PON, whatever, something like that, to schedule this meeting. But the point is not, is their communication secure? That is a useful property, but it is not a necessary property. The ability to define and determine what a technical system will and will not do is necessary, but not sufficient to understand whether that system is secure. Defining security for a system means understanding what your users, what your humans want. And that difference is really, really useful. In that difference is where what I call security design lives. So this is coming from a bunch of looking at the problem, a bunch of looking at how we deal with threat modeling, a bunch of looking at how we build systems, and realizing